Hello, I'd like to show you one of my Sunday journals. This is the latest one I finished, and it's a journal that I made on a Sunday. So it's not for sale, it's just a fun one that I made to satisfy my own desire. 6¼ inches wide by 9½. So that, yeah, I have a journal for me to write in, because I journal every morning. And I like using a junk journal to journal in. A little under 2 inches for the spine. It's 2 signatures. I used only 2, thinking I would make the journal maybe less wide, but it didn't work. This is from a repurposed book. Someone had taken some pages out to do some art projects, and so I thought it was a great opportunity to turn it into a journal. This is the original cover here. This is some fabric that I glued on. And the back is the original as well. And there's the fabric I glued on, which looks like it belongs there. There's a little button here and a picture from, I think, from a gift book. And I have sewn it onto some cardstock and then glued this to this. I hope that you're doing well and enjoying the last bit of summer. Inside we have a pocket made from the lining that I've included all the way through. There's the original part of the book there. Made a little mini journal with a old business envelope and used some scraps from colorful envelopes and added some pages in here. And this here has vintage buttons and a green card cover there for this section of the journal. And this is fabric sample with some upholstery fabric sewn on. Really enjoyed working on this journal. I love the colors in it. Here's some tea-dyed stationery little journal card made out of a mini index card, F or E for elegant flowers. And this here I think is from a museum, and you aren't allowed to use the digitals for sale, so that's why I'm including it in here. And this is a Graphics Fairy digital. This is a new stamp I recently got that I'm really excited about. And here I did a little bit of a chalk pastel. I got that idea in here as well from Weekend Books. Here's some homemade washi style tape I made using some paint, and I think that how to do it is in my playlist, because I save playlists from other creators that I really like, or save tutorials. This is a scan of a poetry book that was my grandmother's. And here's some tags I made from some Kate Greenaway pictures. It's a flip made out of a folded up paper to create all these pockets. And there's a pocket at the back too, tagged it right in. And here we've got some more of that vintage, probably antique wallpaper from that museum site. And there's a vintage button there. Create a little tuck spot here. I really like having these spots that have room, because quite often I'll add either a note that someone's given me, some hand-dyed paper, or maybe a receipt. Like just recently I put a receipt in my own journal that I'm using right now. And this is a bridal shower card from many years ago that I thought it'd be great for journaling in. Yes, and it's from some special people. This is from a butterfly book. This is a scan of one of my little watercolors, and it's been tea dyed. That's from a calendar, day by day, page a day kind of calendar, Thomas Kincaid. And that's a journal card. And here is a journaling space, all sides of that. Trying to decide what side to put that on. I think here's a tuck spot here, and this is from some washi tape. And a little scrap of paper, I like that color. And this little envelope that all opens up, and you can journal on the inside, or I will journal on the inside one day when I get to using this one. And there's a full wax seal that I made. A little mini tag there. And here's a little mini journal that's made from some of the paper from this book. And one of my little watercolors. It feels like it's an original there. Hope the colors went well with this. Journaling on the back as well. And this is a scan of one of my little teapots. And here's a bit of an old flower book. And here's a vintage button, fussy cut bird, some ribbon, a little bit of fabric there. And this is scanned from a really old school book that my mom gave me that she got from a thrift store she worked in. She knew that I liked old books. It's probably over 100 years old, but I'm not sure. But the edges of it are literally worn like that. I don't think it was round to begin with. And in keeping the book, but I didn't want to put this in a book that's for sale because I'm not sure about the copyright. So don't want to sell anything where copyright is not expired. This is from an orchid flower that I bought with a gift certificate that my son gave me a few years ago. I've had it for a couple of years now. And this is butterfly from the Graphics Fairy. I just sewed that digital onto there. This is an interesting card that I found in my stash. It's from a museum from my hometown. And this is a page from this book. And tea dyed for writing on. Cedar waxwing. Never managed to get a really good picture of one, but with my camera, but I've tried. And this has been dyed with onion skin, and that's a fussy cut from a bird book. That's butterfly that's been fussy cut from a butterfly book. Journaling card there. And turned a little greeting card into vintage greeting card into a journal book. And there's a greeting card I dressed up to be a little mini journal too. And hidden paper clip with some silk on there and a little butterfly piece of fabric there. Some more of that lovely digital wallpaper from that museum site. And this here is a picture of a mirror that I have, and this was my grandmother's, and that's just an old key, and sometimes I just like to take pictures of old things. And this was a bookmark, but the end was, kind of getting shabby. But you can journal on the back, or I can journal on the back, and there's an old paper clip and an old mother of pearl button. A little flip there. It's held on with old paper clip and card in there for journaling on. And here's a washi sticker. Some ledger paper. This is an envelope, and this is the top of the envelope and glued on this side to create a pocket for a journal card that I decorated with scraps of paper and put a fussy cut on there, and probably imagine that's packaging paper I put on there. And inside is a card for journaling. This is from an old flower book. And this side has a little spot for a journal card. Cute stamp. I just got that one too from the thrift store. Did a lot of thrifting this summer, which was fun. There's a little card. And in here, 13th Tale. I think that's what this book was called. And I couldn't resist. I bought a little stamp at the thrift store too. It was in with some other things that I really wanted. This is some artwork my daughter did. She may have done this from off of Pinterest, so that's why I don't want to put it in a one that's for sale, because there's a cat hair. Speaking of cats, there's one beside me right now. There's a stamp that I just recently got. A journal on that. And I think this was made from a book page. A little flower in the corner there matches the fabric sample, and this is vintage trim. Here's a little journal booklet here. Vintage doily and little journal tag made from some packaging. An envelope that's been tea-dyed and then turned into journaling space. Stamping, little die cut, and some tea-dyed doily, paper doily, all layered up for that tuck spot. And there's a scan of one of my little watercolors. It's a little mini pocket with mini tags. Fussy cut birds on top of some fabric that's on top of decoupage napkin on top of a bird book page, and a little bit of ticking on top for tab. And some more digital from, I think, that museum. And here's a hidden paper clip that's got a butterfly on both sides from William Morris scrapbook paper book. It's actually cut from the cover. And this picture, I think, was from a magazine, and I really, really liked it, and I hoarded it and kept it for myself. Just, yeah, love the colors and just the natural expression. I don't think she even realized she's having a picture taken of her or painting made of her. Some more lovely pictures in that old children's book. And a really old hymnal page. And a greeting card that I aged up. Got a little box of various cottages. Just love, love, love cottages. Sweet dog. And it's one of my favorite tags from in this book. Did this with hand embossing. Put a tea-dyed fabric on there. And this is some really old, I guess, crochet. And this picture was from a magazine. And I cut it out to look old as well and inked it up on the edges. Journaling space on the back. And that pocket there. Lovely wallpaper. And this here is different churches in Scotland. Tea-dyed it, so there's lots of room to write. I got a little package of those, so I'll be using those in some journals. This was from a antique Mother Goose book of different stories and poems in that. And I took it apart because it had some things in there that just are not okay. Yeah, sometimes you find things in the old books that are really not politically correct at all. I mean, I'm not obsessive about that, but just sometimes it's just so obvious. This is a hand embossing I did using a stencil, and there's a little picture that I found in a magazine. Just layered it up and created journaling space. And I made a little journaling spot out of this card here, just with some leftover paper that I had tea-dyed of a artwork that I had scanned of one of my watercolors. And there's journaling space there. Here is a vintage postcard, Canadian one. And here's an altar paper clip with butterfly sticker on there and some things I've cut out, and I think that's tea bag. And on this side, made a little card for journaling on. A little die cut cardstock and did some stamping and A little bit of color added on there with some chalk pastels. Here's a scan of one of my old pictures, one of our roses, and I would have done that, sketched it from one of my pictures, because you're not allowed to actually sketch pictures of somebody else's photography, but you can of your own. So I have the rights to it. So yeah, I've got thousands of pictures. I just need to sit down and do some more artwork. I love this little picture and the reader, and then I just added some more drawing space in there. Journal card made of different layers. Stamping on a tag. Bit of fabric there to keep the pocket strong. And here is watercolor from this really light watercolor set that I have. And then I did some ink over it, and then I put a little bit of sparkle on it. That's one of our roses. It's not that color, it's more darker color, but the particular watercolors I used are very light. Here's a pocket made from some scraps and some tea-dyed writing paper. Here's a card made into a journal card, and another layered up card here. It's got tea bag on there. In this spot here, it's a pocket, and it has a little tag here for writing on. You can write on here and here, and in here, and on this tag as well. That just holds it together. Is that the right side I had? Yeah. And it just goes in there. And this was a page where I didn't like the poem. I don't know if you ever read Elsie Marley. Yeah. Well, she's supposed to be out feeding pigs, but she's not. But you know, she's visiting with a bird. I like the picture, so I put this little pocket there and a tag. You can journal on the back too. That's from that antique Mother Goose book. Oh, what a sweet picture. Grandparents. Yeah, grandchildren are our treasures. Okay, here we've got some music paper with some napkin decoupaged on it, and some tea-dye paper added to it for strength and for blank writing space. And here is a tag made out of packaging. And tag there. This is a scan of one of the things I made a while ago, but for some reason I just took a liking to it, so I wanted to reuse that idea. There's a little journal spot there. And this is tea-dyed writing paper or stationery. On this side we have, oh yeah, this reminds me of my friend that's in heaven ahead of me. Actually, a couple of friends that really like Eagle that are there ahead of me. Okay, and some tea-dyed stationery. Here we've got some little mini tags, cute little teapot, cute little rose, cute little garden tools, and a button put through with a couple holes through here, and it's wire that's holding together like a brad, and I've got something on the back to protect myself so I don't get scratched by it. I think that might be in my playlist of things that other people's tutorials. I think there was a tutorial how to do homemade brads, and this here was more of my daughter's artwork, and I really had fun putting some chalk pastels on the background there. A couple of tags in this pocket. This whole thing is an envelope that's been folded in half and made into a little journal. So there's a card in this pocket and one at the back as well. Some pictures that were already on those cards. I just inked them up and curved the corners. And that's one of her drawings too. And here, and this was a magazine picture I just love. And these tags for writing. Another one of her drawings. I think she did that with watercolor pencils. She's just really talented. Yep, she's one of those people that all the fine arts, including writing, she's just so good at. Well, I hope you enjoyed watching this. It's not for sale because it's my own Sunday journal. So when things I make on Sundays, I get to keep them. But I hope it inspired you and just gave you some ideas of what you can do with packaging and odds and ends around your house. And the nice thing about doing a journal for yourself that you know you're not ever planning to sell is you just take more chances and then you learn things and you invent things. Take care and have fun. Thanks for watching.